As you all know that these sessions are being organized by India International Education Council and School Lalaji Solutions. In India International Education Council is a not-for-profit organization which is working in the field of education. It has collaborators from 12 countries. India International Education Council aims to create a better world through education. It also aims to build quality centers, for elementary education, which are approachable for all kids. It also tries to find best educational practices across the globe and find ways to implement those in Indian institutions. It also tries to create more awareness on hygiene and learning disabilities. It publishes a magazine called World Education Review. It also publishes many other educational reports. It aims to build 100 chapters in different cities by 2022. It will soon open its membership for institutions and individuals. It also imparts training to leaders, teachers, students, and parents. As I shared in the beginning, this is our 55th session. We have so far organized 54 sessions, and I'm very proud to share that we have received 5,422 registrations. We have also received 4,702 questions. We have seen participation from 5 countries: India, USA, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Nepal. From India, we have seen participation from 19 states, 76 cities in last 54 sessions. We aim to organize 200 sessions. Through these sessions, we would be reaching out to 100,000 educators. We, would be reaching out to 20,000 institutions, and 1,000 plus eminent speakers like today's speakers would be joining us to share their perspective, to suggest a roadmap in order to successful implementation for this national education policy. Eventually, we would be compiling all the thoughts, all the perspective into a document, and we would be presenting that document to the Ministry of Education. Now, I would request please join me in welcoming our today's key speakers. Our first key speaker, Mr. Abhishek Bagchi. Abhishek ji is principal with the RMPS International School, Ankleshwar, Gujarat. Abhishek ji has 20 plus years experience in education. He has worked as a regional head east of Pearson Schools, India. He has trained over 250 teachers and principals. He is the founder member of First GEM School in India. He has worked in Dubai for 2 years as technology integrator and facilitator. He has also worked as a programmer in IBM, for initial couple of years during his career. He is a TED Education Club leader. He's also an author with Macmillan. He's a speaker to various educational conferences. We welcome you, Abhishek ji. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next key speaker, Poonam Arora ma'am. Poonam ji is principal with the Bombay Cambridge International School, Mumbai. She is a highly accomplished professional with a keen leadership acumen and ability to identify talent. Under her leadership, her school has scaled great heights and touched many milestones in the curricular, co-curricular, as well as extracurricular activities. She has been awarded by United Nations Environment Head Mr. Eric Soman for commendable work towards environment on World Environment Day 2018. She was also awarded by International Business Council as Gem of Asia Education Excellence Award 2018. She was awarded as a Tech Survey School Leader Award by Shaping India Education. She was also awarded with prestigious Dr. Abdul Kalam Education Excellence Award by International Business Council 2018. She was also awarded as Leader for Change Award by Project Education. She was also, awarded by International Institute of Education Management for a valuable contribution in education field. And in fact, the list was very long. We just, selected few awards. We are very honored with your presence, Poonam ma'am. Thank you for joining, and I'm sure your thoughts, perspective would be hugely valuable for all the participants. Big thanks again for joining. Our next key speaker would be Mr. A.K. Saxena. A.K. Saxena ji is a principal with Scholars Pride, International School Sector 16, Faridabad, Haryana. He has over 3 decades of experience in education. He has been awarded and recognized with many awards for his contribution to the field of education. We welcome Mr. Saxena. Our next key speaker, Dr. Pankaj Sharma. He's a director with SRM University, Haryana. Dr. Sharma has over 22 years of varied experience in sales and marketing, in media, education, FMCG, and IT sectors. He has completed his graduation in electronics honors from Delhi University. He received gold medal in his PGDBM. His research topic in PhD was consumer behavior. He has completed a one-year diploma from IIM Lucknow in senior management program, global leadership. He has won many awards and recognition. During his corporate journey, he has served in senior level position in many prestigious organizations like NIIT University, BML Munjal University, the Tribune Trust, Dainik Bhaskar Group, Midday, Indian Express, ST Media Limited. In fact, he is a mentor, advisor to many budding educationists. We welcome you, Dr. Pankaj Sharma. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Raju. Thank you very much.
Our next key speaker, Mr. Sunil Dangi. Sunil ji is founder and CEO of eMango Solutions. Mr. Sunil is an IIT graduate from IIT Kanpur. He's having master's degree in mathematics and scientific computing. He's a member on Institute of Actuary United Kingdom. He has worked with ICICI Prudential, HSBC, financial risk advisor at Ernst and Young India and United Kingdom. He's an entrepreneur for last 6 years in telecom, food, education sector. He has been doing a wonderful research on career counseling for last 2 years. Based on that research, he, along with his team, have come up with this solution called eMango, which is a digital career counselor platform. We welcome you, Sunilji. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Raju.
Our next key speaker, Mr. Luke Masato. Luke is the head of quality with Fatado School of Music. Fatado School of Music is India's largest music educator. It is a brand which is synonym to music in our country. It has a 150-year-old rich legacy. Fatados has been working with 200 plus leading schools of India. It has trained over 1 lakh students across country. It has many renowned titles like Bandit, which is India's largest school level music competition to promote music talents across all schools. It has other titles like piano concert, cadence workshops, high jam training, FSM exams, in-center recital, FSM recital. FSM enjoys partnerships with renowned institutions like Berklee College of Music and NMIMS School of Performing Arts. So we welcome you, Luke. Thank you for
Thank you,
joining.
Raju.
With this, now I would request all the key speakers to share their opening remarks. I would again just share the flow for the session. After opening remarks, I again would come back to you for your main talk. So now I would request first I would request Abhishek ji if we can have your opening remarks, sir.
Yes, first of all, thank you very much thank you for School Lalaji to invite me and include me in this elite panel. I can see a lot of experiences in this total panel, which is here. And I hope that this interaction becomes very interesting and we take away something after at the end of the session. That's my hope. And I wish because we have a lot of talking happening. So we need to take away something and we need to work on something. I think that is the mission that we are in. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Certainly, will certainly take many important inputs from all of you. Now, I would request Poonam ma'am if we can have your opening remarks.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for giving this opportunity to be here today. And as my colleague rightly said, that let this be an interactive platform because the topic is so extensive that we can't say that we are a master of this particular topic. It will require a lot of thinking, rethinking, sharing, and rebooting ourselves a whole lot before we are able to actually understand the very essence and soul of this particular policy. So keeping that in mind, I feel with the elite gathering that we have here today, I'm sure there will be takeaway for all of us. And from our end, we'll also try to, share as much as possible with everybody here. And thank you for the opportunity once more.
Big thanks, ma'am. And we are very excited to hear your views. Now, I would request Dr. Pankaj Sharma. Pankaj sir, welcome once again. And can we have your opening remark?
Thank you, Rajul. First of all, creating this kind of environment and platform. And we have very eminent speakers today. And I am watching this program almost, I think, more than a month. Really, very exciting and very good discussions I have enjoyed. Because as Poonam ma'am correctly said, it's a very vast topic of national education policy. And there is no end to the discussions because people have a different point of view. I was reading yesterday's newspaper, I think everybody has read, about the school bag policy. it should not be more than 10% as the weight of the student. So you have a lot of discussions, you can have a lot of implementation where I think the creating a platform is very important, and I believe that those who are participating or participated in this event definitely will have some implementation in their particular school and university. So thank you for inviting. Please let's have a great discussion.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. Now I would request Sunil sir, if we can have your opening remark.
Good afternoon, everyone. And this platform is to discuss the various perspective of NEP and how it can be executed. And I have been listening to lots of eminent personality over there, and I will be sharing my point of view from the in the policy, the change which has come, that a student will not be choosing the stream; they will be choosing the subjects, and then how important it is. So I will be sharing my perspective from that angle. Thank you.
Sunil ji, I would request Luke. Luke, if we can have your opening remark.
Yeah, thank you, yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rajat? Sorry, I think there's some delay over here. One moment, let me just. Yeah, if you can hear me, thank you so much for allowing me to come and speak. I am speaking completely on the behalf, on the perspective of music and the arts. My name is Luke, and I represent Fadaro School of Music. And we are actually quite thrilled about the inclusion of the vocational and the vocational inclusion in the new NEP policy, and a little about it a little later on once I come in with my presentation. Thank you very much.
Right. Luke, your voice was not very clear, so I would request if you can check and you can log out and log in again. So meanwhile, we'll start our main talk session, and I would again request Abhishek sir if we can have your your talk, your perspective in detail. And I would again share that after this we have received many questions. I would present those questions. So I would request all the speakers, please limit your talk for 10 minutes, so that we have sufficient time for the questions. Abhishek sir.
Okay. Uh, Thank you very much. Again, good afternoon, each and every one of you. I think we have already spoken a lot about NEP and within our close circle and even in our forum. As per me, there are so many challenges in implementation of NEP. We know that already. At the same time, we welcome the policy because it's very progressive and they are very encouraging. According to me, there are few main challenges which I want to highlight here. First, definitely the digital divide that we're going to face here, because we are talking about say about 15 years, according to NEP, we need to include more than 2 crores of students who are not included in the schooling system. So that's the goal of the government. That means they need to include, they need to start, like we need to start, we all need to start, and including the government, at almost 10 schools per week. That means we require 10 headmasters or principals per week and 200 to 300 teachers per week to get recruited. If we need to meet the goal that NEP is setting, like including each and everyone into the schooling system. But that's okay, and we cannot just say that okay, that's a government's problem, and we can't like oh, that's our we are belong to a private sector, and we don't have any problem with that. But there are some other major challenges here. Like one, definitely to implementation of interdisciplinary curriculum, which all the teachers and the principals are waiting for the NCF to come in the coming, like maybe March of this 2021. I'm not sure. But if it is coming, then we can understand like how the interdisciplinary curriculum in giving vocational training the equal importance and integrated curriculum we're going to implement. Now, what the challenge that I am understanding here is like the is changing the mindset of the teachers, because the teachers are coming from a, like most of the teachers who have got like good amount of experience behind. Like we are still, for us still the core subjects are science, maths, English, and like SS maximum or maybe languages. So these are the core subjects. You ask anyone in any school, any teacher, they will say these are the core subjects. So to change the like the deeply rooted disciplinary mindset and fixed mindset, we can say, and change it to a growth mindset, that will be the biggest challenge that we're going to face as an educator. So, and I'm talking in a general, I'm not talking about one particular school. Maybe Poonam ma'am has a huge success training the teachers. I'm not talking about one school, but I'm talking about in general to all schools of CBSE, ICSE, and government schools all over India. So, can you imagine a situation where Mr. Luke is having, like her music classes, and the chord progressions are actually teaching physics and frequency and physics. So to go to that level, we need lots of training to our teachers, and that is a daunting challenge for the educators. First of all, like the teachers, and okay, there will be a rehaul in the B.Ed courses. They are talking about 4 years B.Ed courses. Everything is fine, but we need to wait and see like how the NCF is framing and NCF is coming up, shaping up, and then a lot of encouragement from the government side as well as the private sector for the teachers to actually take up this like challenge and really transform themselves, their mindset, number one, and then there are lots and lots of training and constant training, I would say, to reach to a position where they can say yes, now they are ready to implement our interdisciplinary, or rather we are even cross the interdisciplinary level and talking about transdisciplinary levels, transdisciplinary curriculums. So this is, I feel, one of the biggest challenge, other than the digital divide and other than the challenge of like including all students into the system. Yes, the government has spoken about 6% GDP share, which is again a doubt in my mind. There is a big question because 4.1 is what actually 4.1 or 4.6 actually what we promised, and in 2020-21 we got dropped to 3.2. So and then now we are talking about 6%, which is roughly I think 2.5 lakh crores per year extra money pumping in the education sector, and this economic slowdown with -5% already, like a 5% growth. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. Why I'm sounding negative? Because we had to take responsibility, we the leaders who present in this panel and all the 1,000+ leaders which the moderator is talking about. So we have to take this challenge up, and we have to take the responsibility of the outcome. If it doesn't turn out, then obviously the blame can be like passed to us. Yes, the principals have not done the job. So we need to, and educators definitely, not only principals or the mentors and every educator. So we need to find out a solution mutually. We need to work together. There is no harm in setting the goal very high. That's absolutely fine. But at the same time, the algorithm, the process should be well set so that we can the direction, the path that we walk towards that in a together, so that it can be a modular approach. Like you can divide the sectors and we can give some responsibility to different sectors to, like for example, Anganwadi. Already they are overloaded, and there are too much expectation from the pre-primary, like going to Anganwadi, including class 1 and 2. So they need to say, that's why I'm saying, like I won't be able to say so many a lot of solutions or positive thing until unless I get hold of that NCF which is coming 2021. After that only we can get together and start talking about something very positive and solution. Okay. So that's my take. Thank you very much. I think I have done, and I can, if there is time, then I'll be listening to other panelists, and if there is any question, then we'll be answering that. Okay.
Thank you, Abhishek sir. Certainly, there are questions, and we'll come back to you. Now, I would request Poonam ma'am, if we can have your perspective of NEP, and if you can suggest a
Good
roadmap
afternoon
to all
once more.
suggest a roadmap to all
Yeah.
the participants.
Um,
Please, ma'am.
Good afternoon once more. Um, the new policy, I feel, yes, I agree with the principal RMPS that he was a little bit on the speaking about it a little bit, or more about the challenges. But I feel it is very nice. It is very good to be thinking about the challenges, definitely, because if something new is coming up, unless we weigh the pros and cons and we are able to create a very clear roadmap, we will not be able to reach the goal. But we also have to understand that there has been no change in our education policy in the last 34 years. And as educators, if we remember when we talk to our teachers, our kids, or our parents, we are all emphasizing on 21st century skills, whether it is problem solving or it is about being solution oriented, being creative, being able to take on a task and have excellent communication skills. We have been talking about it, but are we uh, in implementing it in an actual classroom scenario? Because a child will be able to learn only if he or she experiences something, and that experience for him is coming in the classroom. So I feel, looking at that, the new policy that has been on the offering has lot for us to think about. It is going to be like a 360-degree change in our educational system. Of course there will be challenges there, but we also have to understand that the knowledge landscape is changing. We have got the digital learning, we have got technology, we have got the mind spaces coming in, and we also have the employment landscape that is changing. So, keeping the bigger picture in mind, we have, I think, India has the highest number of young people churning out into the world today. So until and unless we are targeting this group of our kids who are going to be serving the nation, say, in times to come, so we have to develop those kind of skills. And keeping that in mind, uh, there has been a very good effort at creating a bigger picture for ourselves, creating a kind of a platform for all of us, so that we are able to explore and then implement it in our classrooms. So that's the first thing. I think very commendable thing about this is that it has kept the global citizenship in mind. It has kept that what is the requirement, because we are moving. We all say that unskilled labor will be replaced by machines, but it's not that. If unskilled labor is replaced by machines, we will also have requirement of a skilled workforce, and for that we will have to have multidisciplinary abilities on our children. So that can be created only when the whole education system that the child goes through, that is giving him at every step the required skills and know-how to reach that particular level. I'll be taking you through the various stages, so that we get a little more clarity, not even clarity, I would say, but little more thought goes into it, that at every stage, like we say that instead of 10 plus 2, now we have 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So the foundation stage, the first stage that we call as the foundation stage, um, where we are focusing on the language, that is from 3 to 8 years of age. Initially we just had the preschool, and then the kids are thrown into a world where they are not, they will sometimes they do not even know the language, or they do not even know the numbers, so to move forward gets very difficult. So now the division has been 3 years of preschool and 2 years of primary school, that is grade 1 and 2. So in this, the focus is going to be the language. It is understood that 85% of the cognitive development of a child happens between the age of 3 to 10 years of age. So at that particular age, if these cognitive skills that we talk about, if they are in place, the gross and the fine motor skills are in place, And also that at this age they are able to absorb the language. That is one more thing that is very important, that at this point, if we will focus on the language rather than just teaching ABCD or 1 2 3, we are focusing on the language base, so that will prepare the child better for the next level, which we call as the foundation stage. So the foundation stage, as they say, is from 6 to 9 years of age, and where the class 3 to 5, sorry, class 3 to 5, where numeracy and literacy, these are the two focuses which are there. So again, from initially the children have the language base, and then they move on to literacy and numeracy between the class 3 4 and 5, and then they come to class 6 7 and 8. There again there is a then it becomes that the child knows how to read, the child knows how to write, the child knows numbers, he knows his basic arithmetic. Then comes the stage when various subjects are introduced to the kid. At present, what's happening, a class child enters class 1, he has to do an EVS, he has to do a math, he has to do n number of other things, whereas even his basic literacy and numeracy is not in place. So once the child comes to the level of class 6 to 8, there he has all the skills required, he has the language base, and then he moves on to the various subjects. And one very beautiful thing which has got suggested in this particular stage is the vocational introduction of the vocational subjects here. We always think no, up till class 10 or 12, herd mentality has to be followed. I understand now CBSE is introducing where they can select subjects across various streams also, but still there is very limited how many subjects are offered, how many different combinations and permutations are allowed. That's again a question mark. So in class 6 to 8 he gets exposure. There's a beautiful concept I read about, 10 days of bagless school, that is there in this particular class 6 to 8, where the children will come without bags. They will get exposure to, say, a carpentry work or a masonry work or any other skill. They get exposure to that. There is one thing is that it is dignity of labor is learned. Plus, when I say masonry, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to make a wall. It can lead me to be a great architect later on. But that little seed that we say needs to get sown in the minds of our kids. That seed is sown at an early age, that I am able to explore, and then I'm able to think for myself. Again, another thought that has come in here is coding is introduced. Again, there is diverse, views on that as well. Whether, although we do say that coding is going to be the thing in the times to come, but whether this is the appropriate time or we should be doing it a little later. So these kind of thoughts are already there, but that's also one big development that has come into the system, that coding will be introduced to the children. Then technology based learning, so integrated learning, inclusive learning, what we keep talking about. If there are some challenged children, for them also, because technology or digital learning platforms are there, the books are going to be available, e-books are going to be available in various languages, so that language doesn't become a barrier. That's another beautiful aspect which has been projected in this particular policy, that language, it is about the knowledge base and not the language. What happens, our children, we are not an English speaking native English speakers, so our children struggle to a certain extent, because the language is not their native language, so to understand the concepts takes them longer, and then it becomes like a very very Herculean task for some of them. Here I would also say that again, just not the urban schools we have to consider, we also have to consider schools where exposure to English language is not there. But as they say, education is the biggest leveler. And I think if this particular policy is implemented in spirit, it will become a leveler in times to come. After class 6 to 9, the 8, then comes the classes 9 to 12, where again multidisciplinary approach, as Principal RMPS also mentioned, multidisciplinary approach is there, where I might want to take up physics, but at the same time, I want to go to the Furtado School of Music. So I should have the liberty to do that. I should be able to take up any kind of creative arts, and that kind of a combination, so that it is an, we talk about all round or holistic development of kids. Holistic development is not just in a just word per se, but it is that all aspects of a child's personality. I might be interested in physics, but at the same time, what about my creative instincts? What about how am I going to do find an expression for that? So for that, multidisciplinary approach is going to be very, very good for our children, because it will again help them in developing their personality to the optimum. And after that comes the higher education, the 4-year courses that we are talking about. And there, the one major thing that has got introduced is about the multiple entries and exits. That's a very, very we have heard about it in other countries, but otherwise, if I have done first year of college, due to any circumstances, if I'm not able to continue my education, I have to drop out. Then maybe after 2 years, once conditions are favorable, if I want to join, I have to start from scratch. So here, if I have completed 1 year of my college, I get a diploma for that. Then after, and I get, there's a credit bank is there, where my credits will get deposited in my name. So after 2 years, if I want to continue from where I was, that credit bank will hold my credits, and I'll move on to the second year, third year, or the fourth year. And the some of us say that why 4 years instead of 3 years? The degree course is 3 years, but the fourth year is the research. That is where you can do an extension of what you have done up till up till the 3 years of your college, but you need not do the research or the extended part of it. So there is liberty, permutation, combinations, which allows children, not, we say that our education system promotes rote learning, but that's what we are giving our children. That's what we are telling them, that you state the Newton's law of motion and you'll get marks. But if I'm giving the child a situation and I'm asking the child, why did the apple drop from the tree, nobody is focusing on that. Everybody is focusing on the law, and then it's whatever is the examples. I understand that the now international schools, we are also following the IGCSE curriculum, which is extending the knowledge to a great extent. But then it is not a system of the whole country, where we have to give an equal platform to all our children. And for that, if there is a national policy, again, I would stress on to be implemented in spirit. That's going to be very, very important. Where are our teachers today? Especially our preschool teachers. We talk about the ECC teachers, the Anganwadis. How trained are these teachers? How much importance are we giving to the professional development of our teachers? All these are a question mark with many of us. But when it will become like a system, when audits are there and advisory bodies are there and adherence to it is there, I'm sure that in spirit it will get implemented. I can see sir is back on the screen, so I think my time must be over. So I'll take a cue from that and continue with my conversation whenever next I get a chance. But I have tried to highlight whatever it was in my mind about the policy, taking it through the various steps, and then we can come back to a discussion even later on. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, ma'am. And no, that was not the sign for that. I'll use this trick for Sunil Dangi's during Sunil Dangi sir's presentation, right? So not for you, right? So, but big thanks. You touched upon almost all the important parts. And this flexible entry exit, this would be a revolutionary. And I'm sure we have an expert, as Dr. Pankaj Sharma ji here. So I would request if we can put more light on this. So I would request Dr. Pankaj Sharma, sir, if we can hear your views.
Yeah, thank you, Rajul. First of all, very good afternoon to all of you, and especially I just listened Ms. Poonam and Mr. Abhishek. I think we need to understand in life that change is always good. You have positive, you have negative, you have bad or good. But I think government took around more than 3 decades, around 33 years to change the policy, which is quite a long period. If you see, even the mobile you are using today, you will not use next year. So things are changing so fast that we are taking 33 years to change, and I don't know how long it will take to implement that. Since I almost visited thousand more than 1,000 schools as an outsider, because we initiated this activity when I joined NIT University in 2012. We used to go to schools, and we used to talk to these students, those in class 11th and 12th. You won't believe that the students are not clear that what they want to do in their life. 80% student, and those who are clear 20%, they have no exposure. They said, I want to be a computer science, or I want to be a lawyer. Why? Because one of my cousin is doing that, or is into that profession. So I think that's very important when we talk about vocational kind of a thing, where hands-on experience, when student himself or herself experience, okay, this is something I can do in my school, I can take as a career. Again, we at SRM University, we have a choice-based credit system. For example, you are an engineer, but you want to study music as one of the subject, or economics. We implemented at the higher education level, and I think that is very good. If student coming from school and exposed to not only basic science, also the history, commerce, or other subject, that's really a very good for the student. I just give my example. When I completed my BSc Electronics from Delhi University, I joined college in Meerut for my MBA. To be very frank, I was not never able to tally my balance sheet, assets and liabilities still. So I think this kind of exposure, it's again depend upon an interest. If student is clear, for example, it's not example, this is a fact. You are a student and you have to take a call whether you want to go into a science, commerce, and arts. There are many schools, they said, okay, if it is not more than 75%, you cannot take science. I think this is the policy where you have lot of intervention in terms of practicality, where students can do lot of things. I was attending one of the session where the vice chancellor or founder of the Shuli University, he was there, and he made a very valid point that schools or university, are we really working in the sense that school university we work for 200 days out of 365 days? I think that shift has to be is required. We have to come out from our comfort zone. I believe in a change, and whenever there is a change, I really agree with Mr. Abhishek. You need to have a lot of training, because I understand when we go to a school, we visit all kind of school. Even we have to have some schools they are helping other schools, because in tier three schools or tier one school, you will find lot of differences in the student upbringing, which is very much required. The hand holding, not from these schools, even universities. Like we always invite students and faculties, please come and experience the university culture. Why? Because university is very well connected with two islands. I always use this word. There are three islands. One is the school, where 15 years of education, and then higher education. If you're looking for, let's say, 4 years of education, 4 years, approximately your 75% education happened in school, and there is no connect. Student has no idea what is going to happen in the higher education world. And third island is the corporate. Like school has no idea, school student has no idea what I am going to do after my higher education when I am going to join the corporate. So this policy, when we talk about vocational, I think as a higher education institute, and there are a lot of companies, corporates. I talk about the IBM, TCS, Zabia, KPMG, even Siemens, even the Bosch company, where we have a tie-up, where these companies, we are running the programs. And I can see a day when these company will run a program with school students, as ma'am correctly said, coding. I also see a lot of programs in the newspaper also in Delhi. Hindustan Times is doing that activity of coding, hackathon, a lot of things at school level, which we have never experienced. So the way things are changing, I don't think that we should take 33 years to change the policy. Yes, whatever required to implement these changes, initiative, training, I think we should do as a team. And I really thanks Rajul to create this kind of environment where we have this platform where we can discuss what are the challenges and what are the solutions. There are always a challenge, but believe me, if there is a challenge, if there is a problem, there's a solution also. And we have to take some time, we have to identify the solution for every problem. One thing about very good about this education policy is that you have something win-win for the student. You are a student, you don't want to continue. After a year you will be given a certificate, after 2 years you will be given a diploma, after 3 years a degree, which was not there earlier. You cannot say I'm a 12th pass. You can always claim and then you can come back. As ma'am correctly said, you can come back, you can complete your education, which was not there earlier. And they also talk about the UGC and AICT. There should be a one governing body, which is very good. If you have lot of akas, I will use this word, then you have to do lot of hanky panky thing. So I believe if there is one body and everything has to be very very transparent. We at our university, SRM University, and there I started this practice when I was in IIT University. I continued at BML Munjal University also. We are inviting school principal also, ma'am is there, teachers also, counselor also, and students also from ninth class. Please come and experience what you have to start after 4 years, 3 years, or 2 years. You can just experience that and you can start your journey. I believe school have lot of opportunity, lot of platform where you can inviting your alumni students because they are the right connect point with the student. They will guide student. Okay, this is something if you do, you will able to achieve whatever you want to achieve. I think, and as far as utilization of resource is concerned, we are working for 200 days. If we can work for 250 days for next 2 3 years, we will definitely going to implement this policy even beyond that. With this, I just want to, because I need to see the time also. I don't speak a lot. Like, thank you, Rajul. Thank you very much.
Big thanks, Pankaj sir. And certainly, this policy is going to play a very important role. In fact, we also have been visiting schools, and we have, today we have leaders from different, kind of experience. We have Abhishek ji, who has got great experience in corporate. He is now in education, such a rare asset for education world. We have Poonam ma'am leading a school. Now, Pankaj sir has got great experience. Right. So I believe that education in India in last 4 5 years has has entered into a new phase where I would say a second generation and third generation of educator are coming formally into education. So they have started looking at it entire I would say industry from a different perspective. The new age parents are coming up. Their expectation are different. You know. These are very valid points, and with that kind of environment, this the entry of this national education policy certainly carries a very important, huge importance. Now, with this, I would request Sunil Dangiji, the founder of eMango Solutions, right? Sunil sir, we can have your ideas and thoughts.
Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. That as I said, that I'm very happy of the concept of that they are in the existing system. We used to fit the child after class 10th only in three categories: science, commerce, and humanities. Right? When I was a student, I wanted to. I was good at maths. That's why I took non-medical. But I wanted to study economics also. I wanted to study political science also. That was not there, and I'm very happy that this thing is there. And they have also talked about a lot of things about holistic development and multidisciplinary kind of things, and the use of the technology for to solve lots of problems. So I'll start with the quote that one of the toughest question in the life is to know what I want to do in life. It's one of the toughest question. Even it's difficult for us to answer, right? And we have made a platform. We generally keep on asking a student or our kids also, क्या बनोगे बड़ा होके? आप क्या बनोगे बड़ा होके? do we really have the answer? We are asking from the child. Can we tell them, that child, that you can become this? Do we have such kind of things at a right place? So, and what is happening is that 90% of the people, what they study, they don't do, and what they are doing, they haven't studied. So this is a very, very big problem, and that leads to lot increase in the unhappiness index. India is the sixth depressed country in the world, as per WHO's report. So why it is happening like that? So because it is happening, the one of the reason could be that the people are not doing what they like to do, and what suits. And now how will they come to know that what they like to do, what should they do? Because especially for a child, today he watched some movie, then he wanted to become a an actor maybe, or some he want to become and then tomorrow he will watch some good cricket match, then he want to become a Sachin Tendulkar, right? So the child mind is so confusing. So we have come up with a platform where which can help the child and the parents and the teacher to to find out the best fit career for the child. There has been 100 years of science, especially as social scientists have been try to find the answer for this question: why some people are happy throughout the career, why some people start feeling draining after a while. So now, because there are three things which are very important, that is aptitude, personality, and interest. If a career will be chosen which suits aptitude, personality, and interest, the chances of getting successful will be very high in that career, and you need not to jump from here and there. So we have designed a digital platform, very this AI based, artificial intelligence based, and machine learning based, where a child himself can choose a career for himself. It's very interesting platform that everything is audio visual. And so I'll just play a video for you, and then I'll take just 2-3 minutes to take you through our platform. And this is the just a sec. The video which I'm playing, the Mr. Abhishek and Poonam ma'am will relate themselves. Yeah, this is what they keep on facing at their school day on day-to-day basis. Rajul?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not able to play this video. Have you done some kind of settings in while?
No, we haven't done it.
Okay,
So
just
we can see your screen.
You can see my screen and
हाय, क्या आपके स्टूडेंट आपसे अक्सर ये सवाल पूछते हैं कि उनको कौन सी स्ट्रीम या करियर चूज करना चाहिए, कौन से एंट्रेंस एग्जाम देने चाहिए, या कौन से कॉलेजेस में अप्लाई करना चाहिए? क्या आपके टीचर्स या स्टाफ के पास इन सभी सवालों का उत्तर एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड और साइंटिफिक फॉर्म में उपलब्ध है? और क्या वो हर बच्चे के इंटरेस्ट, पर्सनालिटी और स्किल के अनुसार उनको करियर सजेस्ट करते हैं? क्या आप चाहते हैं कि आपके विद्यार्थी अपनी क्षमता के अनुसार देश और विदेश के बेस्ट कॉलेजेस में एडमिशन पाएं और आपके स्कूल का नाम और भी रोशन करें, ताकि आपके स्कूल में हर साल ज्यादा से ज्यादा एडमिशन हो? Of course you want that, no questions about that. But the question is how to make sure that this happens. Is there any system in your school through which a student can get all the critical details about any career plus support and other important information very easily and quickly available in a well structured and scientific manner? Or you are still heavily dependent on your staff, teachers, and career counselors? Well, how about having every solution from your school's own website at zero cost and 100% data privacy? Yes, you heard us right. At zero cost and with minimum human resource required, eMango will empower your school website with all this and much more. You will definitely love it when your students get automatic reminders about form opening and closing dates for various exams and scholarships by the school itself. How it works: your students require the following things to secure admission at any decent universities: an
Now I'll just take you through our portal. That's this is the student dashboard. That's how it looks like. And here a child can explore the careers he want to explore. This is the child's profile. One is these are suggestions for the especially for you, and it comes on the AI based thing. If a student is from non-medical stream, and now the child will start choosing the subjects, so it will be based on the subject he has chosen, and it is based on his marks. We can suggest some colleges as on the basis of his marks, and what are the interests. If he has some location preference, those suggestions will come here, and then from he can make his wish list, which career he want to, this is a kind of the card the child will be making. So it just start with the child is making a child can start exploring the career. For example, he is yeah, say agriculture, biotechnology he want to explore, or say digital marketing is and it's very interesting platform. Everything is in audio visual format, because it's easy for the human brain if the information has been provided in the audio visual format. That's why we have kept the things very simple in the audio, and it's a multilingual. As Poonam ma'am was saying, in India only 10% people understand English, so we are making it a multilingual platform. So like this, if a child is interested in this, he will just click on this, and it simply gets shortlisted in his cart. Then he can go back for the exploration of other careers. Maybe say forensic medicine he's interested in. He will just, so that he can, whatever he thinks over a period, right, he can keep on making the cart of himself. Now if he want, because if the child keep on forgetting otherwise. Next question is, after exploring the careers, the next thing which is more important is that what is the best suited for that particular child. Then how will you find? That is based on the API. This is the question which we keep on asking the child. आप क्या बनना चाहते हो? So this is our character hero, and this is the first time in the world which is happening that we are converting a psychometric assessment as far as the career counseling is concerned into the video games, and that will remove the boredom of the child, because the existing psychometric metric test leads to a lot of boredom, and the child may not take that test properly, hence the output may not be that proper. So this is the very interesting thing. The child will have to play the game, and the back end his assessment will be happening. And this work is being done with the R&D department of IIT Delhi. They are doing all this gaming conversion, and there's lots of psychometricians are involved in that. Similarly, there is a college and exam exploration. A child can explore the colleges and then say, this is the college. Every information about this college is available. What is the national ranking and all? Oh, I'm sorry. This is something the team is developing it. So in the same way, he can click on the shortlist, and this All India Institute of Medical Science will go in his cart. And in the similar way, he can keep on exploring, and just he will go to entrance exam. These are the information of all the entrance exam over here. He can shortlist whatever the entrance exam he wants to apply. So this will get added into his cart. So this is a kind of DIY kind of things. Now we need to provide the student such kind of dashboards where this everything a student can find out in his wish list. That the career which he has chosen, here are the careers, and the entrance exam he chose, and then the college wish list he wants to apply. And then there will be automatic reminder to the child will be keep on coming. And the most important part is that we have now how the school will come to know that with what their child are doing. So there is a school dashboard also, where school can keep on checking that how many childs have taken the psychometric assessment, how many childs want to do want to appear want to go for which career. So this is so beautiful dashboard for the schools, that these are the students of my students of class 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. They can just click on that, and there's a detail of all the students available there. And every the school dashboard any important notification which comes for the schools that will keep on coming there. They can, so this is so beautiful platform that even school can keep on tracking what the childs are doing. So let me stop presenting my screen. So these kind of platforms are very much required as far as the career counseling is concerned, and it is everything is a do-it-yourself kind of things. And we should keep making such AI-based platforms which can reduce the physical requirement of a counselor to the large extent. And of course, the pandemic was very bad for everyone, but it has made us, tech savvy. Now a child can easily, and a mother can, and we are making the reports of the psychometric exam also multilingual. That will be, for example, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ extrovert ਹੈਗਾ extrovert ਮੁੰਡੇ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੇ हैं, so it will be easier for the parent to understand. So it is that beautiful, and its importance has increased because now the student will not be choosing the streams, they will be choosing the subjects, and there will be more confusion, and as more option leads to the more confusion also. And if there will be no scientific way of solving it, then it's not possible to solve it with the humans sometime. So that's about our platform, and that's how we are adding value into the education system. And why I'm explaining this at this platform is we are still developing it, and we want to have a feedback from the educationists like Abhishek sir, Poonam, Arora ma'am. And if you have any feedback, please let me know at the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunilji. When you started your talk with the line that the most difficult question in one's life is आप क्या बनना चाहते हैं? So I was, I started wondering. This is a question. I believe this is perhaps the first question we ask from a child. आप क्या बनोगे? And he answers. So if it is the most difficult question, every kid answers this question. So big thanks. Your platform certainly helping us in finding the right answer. Right. So we should we must become what actually we deserve to become. So big thanks, Sunilji, for joining and sharing this. Now we have I would say a live example. Luke with us, the musician, the trainer, the teacher, educator, and he has maintained that he discovered his passion during graduation. So in his school days, he never believed and he never discovered that. So I would request Luke, if we can have your perspective, and if you can share how music can improve our efficiency.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rajuji. So I wasn't able to be heard earlier. I am the last speaker, so I'm going to try and make it short and quick. So basically, from the point of view of a musician and from Furtado School of Music, we are really, really positive and happy about the NEP 2000, and why 2020, of course. And why is because of the inclusion of vocational courses, which is actually what we really need. That is the need of the hour for all of us who are more inclined towards the musical, artistic side of life, and who are not technically that great when it comes to your logical complications. And while I was listening to Poonam ma'am's speech as well, I was just hearing it, and she had mentioned about your foundation levels and your intermediate levels, and it is so similar to what we have in music as well, in music and art. When we literally have a grading over there in music as well, and beginning from a grade 1 all the way to a grade 8 or a grade 9, which is similar to your school classes. And there as well, we try to ensure that the skills that the student is perfecting first begin with the gross motor skills, and then they move into the finer motor skills. So if you see a child playing an instrument, you will not see very fine movements. You will first see gross movements going on. So that is that basically gives us the shift from a foundation level to an intermediate level to an advanced level student. So just by looking at them only, you'll be able to understand, by looking at these fine these motor skills, what level the student is at. You don't even need to hear the music that they're playing. You put the audio off and you just look at them, and that's how you'll come to know. So this musical journey of a student, which now we have basically, Furtado School of Music is one of the largest, I would say that it is the largest institute in terms of music curriculum and music education in the country. So I can very confidently say that, there's a lot of research that we have done in coordination, in communication with schools who we have partnered with, and we've tried to take their feedback, and we've tried to understand what kind of an impact we are giving, what kind of an impact do we have for these students who are learning from us. And we've kind of uh, we have kind of got a basic understanding of what a student goes through. The value of music of a student changes through his or her journey through a school's grades. What begins as a form of a group activity when the student is maybe in a pre-primary or even in a grade 1 or 2, the student is still not old enough to be individualized. They like group activities, and they treat music also not even as entertainment but as a form of a group activity where they can bond with their fellow classmates. And when they're still small, that then gradually shifts into a form of a patriotism sort of a music program where the best way to teach music, the best way to teach patriotism to a student is through a song. And our national anthem is obviously one of the best examples. But students of this, once they reach grade 1, 2, 3, for them it is more about patriotism, because the music taught to them shows these values. Then after they start getting a mind of their own, they move into a grade 5, a standard 5, a standard 6, etc. They begin to start expressing themselves, and then they start understanding, okay, what, I think I can identify myself through this music, through some form of music. That's when you see people, your fellow students, going and choosing this band or listening to that artist. And finally after they've completely moved out of their 10th standard and they're in college, they have this awareness that I think I am good at this, and I think I can make this into a possible career. And as Dr. Pankaj also mentioned, he said that it'll take time for the NEP to actually implement the process. It'll take a long time for the NEP to actually implement itself. Things are changing so fast, but the education policy also, instead of changing as fast as what things are changing, it is taking its time. So I can tell you, I completely agree with it. When in Fadado School of Music, if we have to make small changes in our curriculum, and we have to roll out those small changes in the curriculum across the country, it really takes a lot of logistical effort and time to ensure that that from the conception, from the idea of the conception to delivery, that process almost takes at least 2 to 3 years. If we have to even change one chapter of a curriculum that we are giving to a school, that entire process takes about a year to a couple of years to implement. Then of course getting the results of that takes another 2 years to see, okay, whether okay this has happened or not. Was this a positive change? So I completely agree with with our speaker over here that it will take time for the NEP process to implement itself and for us to see the changes. But at the same time, we have to be a little hopeful about it. I have a small presentation over here, which I hope to share. Just one moment. A little about Fadado School of Music. I'll just briefly run through it. We have quite a few touch points all across the country. We have 145 plus schools, centers, and over a lakh students learning from us. Uh, a few school brands over here that are learning from us, and which we are regularly communicating with in terms of how music is affecting the students. So that is still an ongoing process, even though we have hit the online, even though we are hit with the pandemic, we are still doing it. We are still trying to ensure that the school does not lose us as a USP, because when they have FSM on board, then it is considered to be a sort of a USP, because a whole new dimension is added to the school, by introducing all these events, then getting platforms across to the students in terms of festivals, then getting experts from the field of music. Sometimes you might even expect a celebrity, a musical celebrity, to come and interact with his students to uh, to deliver a few pieces of advice in the flesh, because that is of course very effective. And yeah, we have had to go online because of the pandemic, and everyone has basically just, they have just embraced this whole effort so wonderfully that even the schools, even though a lot of schools were, they were really dreading what is happening, but they realized the value of music and what music can really do in terms of, especially in this need where there is a little sense of hopelessness. So they have actually realized, okay, we need to get music in, because that is at least there to lift up the student spirits. So quite a lot of students, quite a lot of teachers have been active with us in delivering these classes this year. A lot of classes, as you see, have been happening this week, per week actually. Uh, this is just FSM Buddy is more of an internal website where if a student wants to go for it in a more serious manner, then they log on to this website, and it's a journey where they can really go through. Uh, for some reason, my video is not opening over here. Otherwise, I would have shown you a sample violin class or a piano class, and you could have got an idea for it. So it's not only music that we have actually, we are actually giving into. We have all the co-curricular activities at the side of here, because we realize the effects and the positivity that it can really impart to a student. So ideally, this is what we are looking forward to. We are looking forward to students having that reach towards, let's say, music. If a student gets that opportunity and gets that awareness while in school itself, that yes, I want to learn music and I want to take it up as a musical career, then they have an expert to reach out to, such as Padala School of Music, and they can reach out to one of us, and we can guide them in the best possible way that the student can be guided. Because there are a lot of people who are doing this research. There are a lot of people with us who are working to ensure that the curriculum and the degrees and everything after that, post the degree, okay, like placements, what are the future careers in music besides being a performer and a teacher. So we all know at this point that if the two things that you can think of as a career in music is teaching or performing, but there are other avenues as well, such as there is music therapy, uh, there is music transcription, there's composition, arrangement, there is music business as well. So we want to ensure that a student is well aware of all these avenues open, so that the parent also feels secure and confident. So I will leave you with uh, a small video over here, and just before one moment, let me just check this over here. Okay, here goes. I hope everybody can see this video of mine.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Sorry, it's taking some time to load. I think there's something wrong with the audio for some reason. One moment. Yeah, it's just coming up. Can you hear this?
It's not audible. We can all watch it, but can't hear.
Oh, I don't know. For some reason it's just not. Even I'm not able to hear it. I don't know. Okay, that's fine.
Maybe like if you have taken more than your duration, so maybe audio doesn't start right. So
that could also be there.
That could be a a reason behind it, because you can't play with the technology, so it always catches you.
This is all AI by Rajul, huh?
This is all right. Rajul is yes, magic.
Right. So big thanks, Luke, for sharing. And I would request if you can, try your video. We can have that video in the end of the session, right?
Sure.
So we'll start with the questions straight away. We have received many questions, and I believe a very unique questions. So I'll take a minute, before I present, questions. I'll just take a minute in sharing what exactly we are doing at School Lalaji Solutions. And I believe Pankaj sir, you have another meeting, and we'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you, Rajul.
Right. So most of you are already aware with the kind of services we are offering, at School Allergy Solutions. We are India's largest one-stop solution platform for educational institutions. We are currently present in 42 cities, working with somewhere around 4,500 institutions. We basically help institutions in three ways. We help them in buying right thing from right people at right price. School Lalaji also help institutions in selling their old items, like their old buses, generators, their furniture. There are many there are many institutions, maybe in your city or nearby areas, which may need, and which certainly needs your old stuff, which you don't need any longer. We also help institutions in raising money. We help institutions in raising money via loan or fee financing, and there are other methods. Why we need a platform like School Allergy Solutions? There are thousands of companies, there are thousands of new products and services are coming up in education. But one big challenge is here, that these all service providers, these all companies, they are not able to present their products to all the school leaders, Poonam ma'am, Abhishek sir, Pankaj sir, right? So you don't have a bandwidth to meet everyone. So here we come in. We understand your requirement. We also understand the product, different features in those kind of products. And then we try to connect, we try to make that a matchmaking process. Generally, when we visit a school, we find these kind of people, these kind of responses from educational institutions. We already have an old supplier, उनके पास expertise है. We are already getting a good discount. Team is very good, accounts वाले देख लेते हैं सारा. These are all are valid reasons, right? आपकी team बहुत अच्छी है. You have old suppliers. You are already getting a good discount. But when we negotiate, with the suppliers, when we negotiate with different kind of service providers, so we negotiate for 4,500 schools, and we certainly will get you a better discount, better deal in terms of quality, in terms of price, in terms of other things. These are the areas where we are working. We are into smart class, we are into uniforms, insurance, digital, solar plant, language lab, security solutions, furniture, recruitment, music classroom, healthcare, robotics, STEM STEAM labs, career counseling, stationery, digital marketing, IT solutions, educational tour, generators, learning tools, finance. And we will take the guarantee that will save at least your 5 to 7% of your annual expenditure. Just one example, in last year, in one category alone, that is the bus insurance, we saved 2 crore 40 lakh rupees. So I haven't seen Abhishek sir's, bus insurance cost. I haven't seen Poonam ma'am's bus insurance cost. I haven't seen Pankaj sir's SRM bus insurance cost. But I can take the guarantee without even looking at your papers, without even looking at your bills, what actually you paid last year. I'll take the guarantee that I'll save this number of amount, minimum amount. We'll take that guarantee. These are some major highlights. We have installed 8 megawatt plus solar, 3,000 plus bus insurance, 400 plus smart classroom, 2,000 plus cameras, 350 plus training programs, 56 old buses. We sold from one school to another, and uniform in 42 schools. By the end of 2021, we aim to reach out 10,000 institutions. We need your support, guidance, and blessings. So big thanks. Now the time for questions. So, Pankaj sir, we'll start with you, sir. And so this question has come from Mr. Rajesh Hasija. He's a PGT with Montfort, Academy, Dhanbad. Rajesh ji has asked, the question is, how will the lower, earning classes of society will deal with the privatization of higher education, at it, as it will surely lead to an increase in the fees and a sharp decrease in scholars belonging to the lower middle class? How, and how do you see the impact of NEP in lowering the cost?
It's a very, very interesting question if you talk about the role of private university in higher education. First of all, why there is a need of private investor in any education system? You talk about school and universities. The fact remains because the government has a lot of potential, but there are some issues. I don't want to discuss in that detail. That's one of the major reasons we are the private players part of the education. We have around 1,000 universities across in India, private universities. And as far as getting the access to the higher education system to all the students, all the good private universities, they have a very good scholarship. I will not say scheme, scholarship offering to the meritorious students. I remember every year we are giving more than 2 crore rupees of scholarship to our students coming, but again for meritorious students. And it is not meritorious on the basis of the academic. We always entertain the overall like sports also. So that is something. And as far as this policy, new education policy is concerned, because I just talked about the three island school, higher education system and corporate, which I always use these words in my every discussion. So I think this education policy will automatically bring the corporate as well as the higher education to the school, because you are talking about the vocational, and as in higher education system or as in corporate, school has to take help from the corporate for this vocational kind of intervention. And believe me, school is competent enough. Why? We have done that. I am also vice chairman of one of the school in Delhi. What we have done, what we have implemented, we have taken help from parents only. Parents is a strong network and alumni, and they have arranged everything by their own, just a networking. So I think with that, nowadays networking is very important for bringing anything in your life. You want to reduce the cost nowadays, just see the online. We, because of the corona, everything is going online. We're also doing these sessions online. So I think this is important. You need to explore things. And Rajul, I just want to give you an opportunity. You are bringing a lot of things for the school, and one opportunity which will come, I don't know whether in the month of January or February, and all school will invite you. I'm talking about the COVID vaccine. If you can provide to our students, even to the higher education, we love to do that.
I'll just
Yeah, please.
I'll just quickly share two examples which we did during COVID for schools. One, we delivered books for 92 schools, from the school to the doorstep of children. So we did it for 92 schools during the months of May, June, and July. And second, we at the school Lalaji, we have been providing a lot of Corona stuff, this COVID protection stuff, to many schools. So thank you for suggesting this another thought.
I would just like to add a little bit to what you're saying, sir, that I think in the policy itself, they have very clearly addressed curriculum, infrastructure, and funding. All the three aspects have got addressed. Yes, definitely how it gets implemented, we will see as it rolls out. But they have made viewed it from three different angles, and implementation of all these three, how it is going to be possible. Very clear directives are there in the policy itself.
Okay, with this, Rajul, I just take leave. Thank you very much. And I really, we had a nice discussion. But actually, I have another meeting. I have to go there. You please continue. Thank you very
Right.
much.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. Right. So now I would request Abhishek sir if we can, present this question to you.
Yeah, sure.
Sir, this question has been asked by, Miss Suman Munjal. She is a PGT with Raman Munjal School in Gurgaon. Sumanji has said, like, what would be the change in the assessment, after the implementation of NEP? Maybe let's say after 10 years down the line. So what are your thoughts?
Okay, it's a fantastic question. Actually, it should be top down in this case. Like when we are talking about a curriculum, again, I'll repeat. Like we are waiting for the NCF, right? So as soon as the NCF comes, then the assessment will also get framed based on the curriculum framework sent to the schools. So as we are talking about interdisciplinary, vocational. So there will be challenges, but again, as Poonam ma'am said, we'll be all working towards like solving those challenges, because when we are talking about an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary curriculum, the the assessment will also be skill based and also be skill based. And when we are talking about skill, we are not talking about one or two skills. There can be, if you are noting down the skills that we require to develop in a pre-primary or or a lower primary student, then if we list down, there will be minimum of 50 to 60 skills that will be coming to our notice. So to implement that, again, the training of the teachers are required. And why I said that it should be top down, because again, our teachers, our educators, they understand, and our parents definitely, they understand assessment like more than the process. You know that assessment is the destination. When we plan for a travel vacation, we talk about the destination more than the journey. Like that's our, as dot developed in our psyche. So we talk about the destination, we talk about report cards, we talk about like how the examination will be conducted. So that if that is there like embedded in our psychology, then definitely let's attack the whole system in that way only, right? Let's revive the let's modify the assessment system. Let's make it skill oriented. Let's measure the empathy of a child, okay, through a rubrics designed by some psychologists. So let's measure child important aspects, which usually gets lost when we publish a report card where marks are shown, right? So once we do that, then I think the success of NCF will be much more. That's my opinion. So that's a good question. Assessment will be a priority for the educators like us. And so once we can manage to design our assessment in as per the requirement of NEP, I think the NCF will be taken care in a much better way.
Right. Thank you, Abhishek sir. And now I would request Poonam ma'am. Ma'am, this question has come from Mr. Manish Podar. He is a PGT with RMPS International School, Kota. So Manish has asked, language has received great attention in NEP. India has the problem of a disturbing teacher and student ratio. So introducing a mother tongue, don't you think it will create a adverse impact on the entire education system? What are your comments?
Yes, definitely. What he has observed in this is definitely true, that the ratio is very skewed at this point, and they are looking at 25 to 30 kids per teacher. And language, it is the thought is very good, that it is the books are textbooks, or the medium of instruction is the regional language, but it is going to be a very difficult task, because we have so many languages across the state. So that definitely is going to be a great challenge, how to provide textbooks in those different languages. But at the same time, one more challenge that will come is the teachers, as observed by sir who has posed the question, that our teachers will have to be equipped with it. And at this point, as an educator, as a head of the school, we know how difficult it is to get the faculty members doing justice to their roles. So it is going to be a very difficult task, I will not deny that. But at the end of the day, if we are looking at the welfare of the kid, if he is in the early years, the Damocles sword of knowing the English language is not there, and he is able to absorb the content in his regional language, it will definitely help the child. But at the same time, I will say definitely it is going to be a great big task, because of the varied languages across varied states, and also lack of um, trained teachers to impart that kind of language, and to the textbooks to be available. And they are saying that e-textbooks are going to be there. Then if I am not digital platforms are not available to those children, then how are they going to access these textbooks? These are all still question marks, which I think as we will explore further, we'll get answers to those. But definitely the thought is very good, but the challenges are also great in this.